La Divina Commedia. It's been quite some time since we've had the chance to go back to hell alongside Dante and Virgil on this journey, this beautiful, beautiful journey that a lot of people are happily comparing this game that you see right in here to Dante's Inferno. Unfortunately, Dante's Inferno was just left and abandoned in that because we all know how poor EA is at making decisions when it comes to video gaming. So it stands there just as a forgotten memory of how an amazing game might be if you actually give it a good idea when it comes to the scenario and the overall vibe that you try to represent with the overall whole of it. And yes, by all means, this trailer does evoke that on me to some extent, but unfortunately I have kind of like a bad news for you because this video is going to be separated into parts. First, we're going to talk about the game in itself because we actually do have a whole bunch of information about what this game might be. And then second, on the second portion of the video, we are going to talk about the people making this game. And that's when things are going to get spicy because yes, the people behind this game are involved in a huge polemic situation that it leaves too much to be desired. I was I'll tell you this much, I was excited to see the trailer. Now that I see the people behind it, I'm not that much. So a little bit of a spoiler alert in here. This is being made by a Italian studio. So on that remark, we know at the very least that they are going to treat their story with respect because La Divina Commedia, it is indeed written by Dante Alighieri. So that's where they're building their narrative setting upon. But how about the gameplay? What is it that this game is going to have, and what is it that it's going to bring to the table for us to have fun with it? Well, first and foremost, the weapon classes. It says, the developer said that there's going to be several weapon classes, and these weapon classes are going to have archetypes, and they are going to have different playstyles, and every weapon is going to feel much different than the other weapons, meaning that it's going to give you a new strategy for you to try and feel how it feels like a new weapon. This is something that we all know. This is a little bit of a spoiler alert right in here that I have for you. There's no word on this being a Souls-like, but spoiler alert, the game that the developers have developed in the past, it is a Souls-like, which we're going to talk about in a little while. But this might just be very well be an action RPG, or it could be a Souls-like, which if it's the later, then I'm happy, and if it's not, then I'm happy as well. But yeah. Another thing that it is very interesting, and I think that it makes sense, you know, for the setting and how we're going to be traversing the 9th levels of hell. It's going to have procedural dungeons, and they are going to change, and they are going to have loot, and they're going to have secrets, and I'm not sure if they're going to be the main core of everything, but yeah, there's going to be a procedural dungeons in here. Now, interestingly enough, there's a moral mechanic based on sins, and you have the 7 deadly sins. Depending on your choices and depending on the stuff that your main character does, it says by the developers that it is going to alter not only your story events, but also the abilities that you are going to receive, and very much the world around you. And when they say the world around you, I'm going to guess that it has something to do with the procedural dungeons and how the 9 levels of hell are going to alter and change because of the decisions that you actually make. Now, the one thing that I'm happy as well about this game is that it's going to have craftable weapons and armor. So you're going to be able to customize the stats, the abilities, your looks, your weapons. You're basically going to be able to build a character like the many characters that we love to build here on the channel. There's also this one mechanic that allows you to build an ultimate for your character. This ultimate I'm guessing as well that it's supposed to be a demon, and I'm guessing that the abilities and how powerful and the things that your demon is going to be, it's also going to be dependent on the 7 deadly sins moral dilemmas that you are going to have with your sin alignment, but this is just pure speculation. I think that it would be cool if that's the case. And as a general idea, that's the game for you right there. Now let's talk about the pedigree. Let's talk about the developers and the people making this game. Now this is a small studio, and by all means I'm not saying that because the game is going to be bad because it's from a small studio. As a matter of fact, you have the perfect example right in there with Claire Obscure Expedition 33, where you have the small studios making amazing games that nowadays bigger studios do not make. Or for example, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Babylon, which is an amazing game as well. A lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people said that it was like the version that we were expecting from Avowed, even though that I liked Avowed. Anyways, I digress. They were small studios making amazing games, and this could very well be the case as well. But the problem is that all of the issues that this game was engulfed on it was not only because of how the game was on itself. So let's actually talk about Enotria and the main issues that I had with Enotria, what I played of Enotria, because it's just that I decided to stop playing because I do not know, dude. This is not a political channel, but it didn't feel good to vibe with the stuff that they were doing as kind of like a marketing situation. Talk about that in a little while, but talking about the game on itself, it felt, as a general, you will find on the internet that the game on itself, it was janky. One thing that I do have to praise, and this is something that I do remember, I came back to play the game as soon as I saw that they were the ones developing the La Divina Commedia. But it looks amazing, like it looks beautiful because it's a UE5 game, and yes, it had the performance issues that most of the UE games have, but I'd say that it weren't like that bad as many of the other games that we have out there, and especially considering that it was a small studio developing this game. Now, being this a Souls-like, which it is a Souls-like, when people refer to the game being janky but not giving you the reasoning as to why the game felt janky, I'll give you mine, and it's just that the animations of everything, it felt rookie. Very, very, very amateur. The response on itself was okay. Like the iframes and your dodges and the stuff that you would do, it would generally work and function and respond to you. However, the character animations and basically every single animation that you would do for attacking, for blocking, for dodging, it was just weird and low quality, and it didn't feel natural, it didn't feel good. Hence, whenever you perform an action, you would feel that the combat was janky because the animation was something that it felt that it was not made by a professional, or it felt like, I do not want to say it like this, but it felt like it was made with low budget. Now, the rest of everything and what the game had to offer to you, it had this new twist, this beautiful look at a Mediterranean folklore, Italian folklore, a lot more colorful than the regular dark fantasy that we're accustomed to when it comes to Souls-likes. That was a breath of fresh air, and as a matter of fact, that's one of the things that made me going, because I didn't enjoy the combat that much in this game, but it did very much have very good things going for it. Now, talking about the polemic situation and what I think that this was just probably something that I'm not sure, dude. Maybe they were trying to use this as a marketing to, based on that polemic that surrounded the game, have a little bit more of attention and get more people having their eyes on it because they wanted to do good, and probably it was just like a whole marketing situation that we didn't notice and for people to actually know about it. But to me, at the end of the day, after everything that I'm about to show you, it just feels like it was like the CEO of this game, the leader on this game, was just a spoiled brat that didn't know how to make statements on internet, because the statements on internet, naturally media like us are going to go through it and are going to report the news to you as players, so you know what is it that's going on the gaming world. So essentially, to make things brief, there was a delay when it comes to the launch of the game on Xbox. The game would initially launch on PlayStation and PC, but it would skip Xbox. There was a lot of people that were actually wanting to play this on Xbox, and for small that it may be, there were a lot of people like blaming this on Xbox, and I'm not defending Xbox on this regard. I'm just saying that people were quick to jump to say that that was Xbox's fault, with this console wars that we have always, and with people saying, hey, you know, then probably it's better to have a PlayStation 5 because Xbox just keeps skipping titles. Remember that this was a time where Larian Baldur's Gate and Black Myth Wukong were on its apogee, and just game skipping Xbox left and right, and having this a little bit like a smaller one, but on like the cherry on top, like it was a miss. The CEO of the game came out and said that this was completely Xbox's fault. And let's actually take a look at this quote that you have right in here, because he was so frustrated that he came out on X or Twitter, or however you would like to call it right now, to express a very, very unpolite and very stunning statement to have publicly for someone that holds such an important position in a company. You can ask Xbox why they haven't answered us for 2 months, he wrote. Obviously, they don't care about Enotria, and they don't care about you. We have Xbox Series X and S version ready, but we can't proceed with submission and release. I spent a lot of money for porting, and they decided to ignore us. They don't care about you, and I spent a lot of money in this port, but they ignore us. They are just bad people. Someone asked on Twitter for clarification, for an update on how things were doing, and this is what they got. Communication with Xbox: the game works fine on Series S and X, but we cannot go through the submission process, and they can take even 2 months to reply to us. Now, as you can see, this is like a very, very, very aggressive response to have. Like, they were completely blaming Xbox, and if this was the case, then yeah, I mean, you should. But I'm guessing that communication, managing, and having a little bit more of a linguistic flavor to it, so that you actually convey something that feels respectful, and not just like you're mad and you're making a tantrum out of it, because this is how it sounds to me. Now, I managed to secure this piece of information that I knew where it was back then. It's been quite some time, so forgive you me. This is a translation from an interview. Well, not an interview. This is a statement that was made on Italian that was later translated by Fort96. Very highly appreciated. Would have translated it myself if I had the original article. But it's very interesting that they publish this, and we're going to actually go through most of this so that we can be as transparent as possible, because this does not age well with the previous statement. We have been internally discussing the simultaneous release on all platforms for some time. I'm sorry to communicate only now, but it is a choice that was made recently, and I was officially informed that releasing it on all platforms would have entailed a decline in the general quality of the product, as well as further delay of the same. I want you to know that the delay caused by the launch on the same date as one of our competitors gave us the opportunity to take more time to further improve the product. This led to raising the bar, and I, as a CEO, parenthesis, this is the same person that made the previous statement. It's going to be quite funny in a little while. I am responsible for the final quality of the product. That said, I would never allow our game to release discreetly on all platforms. I prefer the game to be perfect on 2 platforms rather than discreetly on 3. Once we have released the game, we will also get to work on the Xbox version and the DLC, so that we can also give the game to Microsoft users. The choice fell on PlayStation 5 rather than Xbox simply because we have a relationship with our partners, our Asia, Sega, with whom we have agreements that we want to respect as a matter of respect for them. As you may all know, the Asian market is largely dominated by PlayStation, so PlayStation 5 was the most logical choice. However, I would like to clarify some things. Giamma Games is an independent software house that has never been financed by anyone, including Microsoft. Some accusations that have been made by some users are bordering on a lawsuit regarding this issue. I hope that everything is clear now and that the Xbox community doesn't get angry about my forced choice. So yeah, don't get angry at me because we're going to sue you if you continue being angry to us. But also I want to emphasize in here that they're basically saying that no, the Xbox version was not ready, as they were claiming a couple of months from this statement where they said that it was ready, it was just Xbox's fault that the product was not releasing. And now, after quite some time, they say that it wasn't actually ready, that they were ready to release on 2 platforms, and that they were, as soon as they were finished with those 2 platforms, they would continue to develop the game alongside DLC for the Xbox platform, which was not ready. So, yeah, why would you make a tantrum out of something that you don't have? And why would you threaten players, the gaming community, to sue them by making their opinions out there that this is not wrong? Like, why is a spoiled brat in charge of the company? So yeah, as you can see, well, this is the ones that are developing La Divina Commedia, which makes me be a little bit skeptical about all this. Anyways, if you like the content, like and super appreciate, and also that you're a gorgeous, beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous, beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel. You're in Discord. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.